California dealing with their huge economic crisis, congressmen, senators, and the people of California are looking for ways to recover from this huge crisis they're going through right now. Many ways have been through cutting education costs, healthcare, and even public safety. But is that really going to work? Are those cuts in those well-needed sectors going to help California recover? No, it's not. What the answer is now lately has stemmed is legalizing marijuana. People believe that legalizing marijuana will be the answer, and in the November 2010 elections, for the first time ever, there's going to be on the ballot the choice to legalize marijuana for recreational use, sale, and distribution. Thanks to about 694,000 signatures on a petition that only needed about 433,000, according to Reuters.com. I believe that if this initiative passes, the revenue for California will skyrocket, basically because of three things. One, they're going to tax it, and I'm going to talk and convince you guys about this today, is one, they're going to tax it. Two, they are going to release all the people from marijuana-related crimes from jail. And three, the use of industrial hemp will skyrocket the economy even more. Those three things today you will be convinced on, and so let's get right into it, starting with taxing marijuana. If marijuana were to be taxed, according to Time.com and USDA statistics, California's biggest crop is marijuana, coming in at about $14 billion a year with sales, which is doubled what California's number 2 cash crop is, which is milk and cream, coming in about $7.4 billion. According to Mint.com, using my visual aid today, taxing marijuana would bring up to a revenue of $1.3 million. Right up here, this is my visual aid. Don't have anything to print it out today, but annual tax revenues, $1.3 billion just on taxing marijuana. Right there, that tells you that's going to save and earn the state a lot of money. That's more than enough to save from cutting the teachers, police officers, and doctors or whatever, firefighters and other important services we might need. That's according to the visual aid. And lastly, this crop is going to expand the state's economy through the tourism sector, because there's going to be people coming from all over the country, all over the world to see this plant that it's legalized and see its uses through the use of hemp and every other thing. That you will see the state's tourism go up if this bill is passed, or initiative. So if marijuana would be legal and it was taxed, what about those people in prison for marijuana-related crimes? Well, this brings me to my next point. And when it comes to arrest and prosecution, let me bring my visual aid back up. Coming to arrest and prosecution, it's 101,000 people approximately that get arrested in California. Half of those are going to be prosecuted. The average cost for prosecution for those people is about $8,750 per person, which means if you take half of those 101,000 people and calculate the costs of arresting and prosecuting, you're going to get a whopping nice little $442 million of costs from the state of California. And that's just for arresting and prosecuting. Now, when you're there getting incarcerated, 25% of those are getting incarcerated. Those 25%, the average sentence for those is 6 months. And an average sentence for 1 year of incarceration is $22,632. So when you calculate all those things up together, you're going to get a nice little $286,285,000 that costs the state of California for locking up these people for this harmless plant. We've all been trained to think that there's no use in it, and really there is. And so all these people locked up will be released if this initiative passes, which is a huge deal. And it just shows that it's a waste of money for a drug that has so many uses. And speaking of uses, which brings me to my next point, which is hemp. Hemp, first of all, is, other than being used as paper for the first two drafts of the Declaration of Independence, hemp, according to wisegeek.com, is a natural fiber product from the marijuana plant. Its uses can be made for just about anything, from baseballs to a baseball mitt, from automobiles covers to automobile fuel. Yes, I said it. The fuel for automobiles, biofuel, that people are looking for alternatives other than using oil, which is huge. And it could even, some people say, eliminate the greenhouse effect. So with those uses, is huge. The economic benefits are just another thing. Cotton, which our #1 cash crop we use for clothing or whatever, generates about $3.4 billion in revenue, according to the National Cotton Council. Industrial hemp will probably rival it if it does happen, which, if that happens, it happens. But you know what? By reducing the dependency on imported textiles, we can export our own, such as hemp, if it were legalized, and we could be more self-sufficient and balance the trade, which is, like I said, a huge deal. So I believe if California does it, other states are going to follow if this gets legalized. I believe that once those states follow, other countries, if not too late, will start having our own hemp, industrial hemp, imported, which to me is a big deal, because not only will California's economy prosper, but the whole country of the U.S. will prosper. So there it is, pretty much. Just those three things convinced you that can vastly improve and recover California's economy, and maybe even the U.S. if it were to follow. I know it's inevitable for legalization of marijuana. It will happen. If not this year, it will happen in the next 10 years, I think. The Gallup poll is a poll that was conducted in California in October of 2009, showed that 53% of Californians show support of the legalization of marijuana. Another poll, called the Field Poll, was also conducted, and 56% of Californians supported legalization of marijuana. And once marijuana is legalized, you'll see how much of a harmless plant, and see all the uses that we can use from this plant. And this plant has been used for thousands and thousands of years. You'll see the cost of prisons go down. You'll see how much revenue from taxes this plant's going to bring in. And you're going to see the uses of hemp and how it will change the textile industry exporting goods from our own country. Those three things I just talked to you about today, and hopefully I have you convinced that this plant has so many uses, and it's just time for it to show. Thank you very much.